frozen to her clothes, breath heaving. There was silence, ice, and silence. Shifting to stand, Remiel rested her hand on her sword, although for all she knew, the weapon was frozen to its scabbard. She extended her senses through the cave, but felt only distant prickles. There were demons nearby, but not close. Cautiously, she started to glow. They had taken shelter in a cavern of ice, barely large enough for two angels and their wings. Drawing her sword was not a concern after all. There was no room to use it. Still, she rested her hand on the hilt and projected heat down the blade until the ice melted. Beside her, Zadkiel flared heat all over her body, dissipating the ice and drying off.
Can you feel their residue?
When Remiel shook her head, Zadkiel edged to the walls of the cave.
Lots of demons. Use this space the way we're using it now,
she sent.
That's why the ice is so smooth. They come in, they flare the ice off themselves, and then they head this way.
She crouched at one corner.
There's a tunnel hidden here.
Above them, the opening had already sealed over with sleet. Remiel frowned. The pair of them could get jumped very easily, and anything Remiel could think of to improve their chances would only increase the chance that they would be detected. It would be very easy to cast a guard in this little hollow, letting her power form the spiritual equivalent of unbreakable walls, but if the demons had any sentries posted at all, a guard was as good as a signal flare. She and Zadkiel might be able to get free if attacked, but afterward the demons would more tightly protect, or move, whatever this mysterious weapon was. In other words, if the angels tipped their hand right now, they needed to tip it fully and finish the job in one go, with a strike force consisting of exactly one dominion and one virtue. Stranger things had happened. Remiel sent.
Can you feel how many there are down there?
In 100 years, Remiel would not herself have tried scanning outward to detect and count guards who were themselves scanning out to detect intruders. For a seeker, though, it might be possible, and Zadkiel was one of the best. She rested a hand on the ice.
A half dozen. One of them.
Zadkiel yanked back her hand and whispered,
Asmodeus.
Remiel grimaced. Asmodeus was one of the Maskim, a seraph second in power only to Satan, and his involvement pretty much guaranteed the participation of another member of the Maskim, Belior, Asmodeus's bonded cherub. Zadkiel frowned at her.
We should bring Michael. Not yet. He needs more information than we've got.
Remiel considered the ice chamber.
Are there any other exits?
Zadkiel pressed against the floor with her eyes shut, then spread her wings. Remiel stood over her shivering. This position was entirely indefensible. It took minutes during which Remiel's wings numbed over from the cold. Then Zadkiel edged toward the opposite corner, put her hand to the ice, and started producing heat. Remiel clenched her sword hilt. Keep doing this, and they were sure to attract demonic attention. When Zadkiel pulled back her hand, she'd left a palm-sized impression in the ice, as deep as her hand. Beneath that was a fissure in the ice wall.
Perfect,
Remiel whispered. Zadkiel dissolved her subtle body, making it completely incorporeal. Without any form, she was able to flow down the crack in the wall, pausing just inside. Remiel took a deep breath, and then she, herself, returned to her fully angelic form, losing her pseudo-body's shape and existing as a pure spirit. She attached her attention to Zadkiel.